So I'm humbled and grateful to the millions and millions of Californians that exercise their fundamental right to vote and express themselves so overwhelmingly by rejecting the division.
Gavin Newsom will remain the governor of California after defeating the recall effort against him. Good morning. I'm Stella Escobedo.
I'm Eric Connor. Glad you're with us here. The race was called in Newsom's favor just before 9 o'clock last night. And here is a look at the latest numbers. 64% of the voters voted no on the recall. As for the top replacement candidates, Larry Elder led the field with 47%. Former San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer was in third with 9% of the vote.
Our team of reporters staying on top of the reaction as well as what is next. News 8's Allison Royal has reaction from Governor Newsom and Larry Elder.
Chris Groh has a closer look at how two of the local candidates are responding to all this. But we start this morning with Allison. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. So, Governor Gavin Newsom is projected to keep his job in office, and this comes after the recall vote. Right now, we're thinking, gosh, it's going to take days, right? That's what I thought it was initially going to take to get those results. But no, we had those results just before 9 o'clock last night, showing him as the projected winner, getting to keep his job. This is what Newsom had to say.
I'm humbled and grateful to the millions and millions of Californians that exercise their fundamental right to vote.
So voter turnout here in San Diego County was expected to be between 60 to 70%. That is according to interim registrar of voters Cynthia Paz. It's what she was projecting. We aren't going to know what those final numbers are until all the ballots are in. Speaking of which, those mail-in ballots must be postmarked by Election Day, which was yesterday. And then San Diego County has until October 14th to go ahead and certify those results to the Secretary of State, along with the other 57 counties in California. Now, this was California's first recall election since 2003. Governor Gavin Newsom said that he wants to give people a little bit of a breather before we jump into 2022 campaigning. But of course, there were many viable candidates in this field, and one of the most talked about ones was Republican candidate Larry Elder.
As a former radio host, let me just say this. Stay tuned. God bless you. May God bless California. We got a state to say. God bless you all. This is only the beginning. You know that.
And for the latest election results, you can always count on our website, which is cbs8.com. We're going to have the latest numbers as those keep rolling in. And we also have a free app if you're interested in staying up to date with the latest election results. I'm going to go ahead and send it back to you, to Eric and Stella.
Also, thank you. We are also hearing from two of the candidates with local connections.
Yeah, that includes former San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer as well as Rancho Santa Fe businessman John Cox. News 8's Chris Groh is live at Liberty Station with their messages to voters. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. And look, it was a tough night for both men. In fact, we heard from both of them, but we know that former San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer didn't take any questions. However, he did provide a little bit of insight into what he does plan on doing next. Take a listen.
As for what's next for myself, I'm going to take the time to talk not only to my family, but my supporters and figure out the best steps here in the coming weeks to continue to be a fighter, to continue to serve our great state. Because California is worth fighting for, don't you think, guys?
And so you could hear there, it doesn't sound like Kevin Faulconer is done running for public office. But with specifically this recall election, let's run through the numbers here of where these candidates stand. A grim picture here. Statewide, Larry Elder by far the #1 choice amongst the candidates vying for Governor Gavin Newsom's job. While the recall effort failed, Faulconer says he did enjoy campaigning across the state to meet Californians and listen to their concerns. Now, we don't know exactly what position he may run for again, but it does sound, based on those comments, that he will be plotting it out very soon. As for Rancho Santa Fe businessman John Cox, this is another failed attempt at trying to become governor. Remember, he initially ran against Governor Newsom and lost. In the recall, he finished with less than 5% of the vote statewide. But despite all that, he didn't say he was done running for the job in the future. In fact, he hinted that he could again run for governor in the general election.
What the Republican Party needs to do is focus on the quality of life issues that I've talked about in this race. Making sure that we can build housing at an affordable price, making sure that we fix homelessness by getting people treated, making sure that we have enough water and electricity.
And one of the interesting things about Faulconer's campaign in their comments yesterday is that they said that they believe that Governor Gavin Newsom was very successful in making this a two-man race, not necessarily a yes or no question, essentially that Governor Newsom started to pit himself up against conservative talk show host Larry Elder, and then that's why they were successful in getting that no vote, but then also that's why we saw essentially such a large gap between those candidates vying for the job. Again, that according to the Faulconer campaign. When you do look at the local numbers here in San Diego County, the picture's a little bit better for the former mayor. He polled at about 16%, so he got about less than 16% of the votes here in his former area. And then for Rancho Santa Fe businessman John Cox, not exactly much better. Again, still taking in less than 5% of the votes. Eric and Stella.
Chris, thank you. Well, many of you are reacting to the election results on our social media pages. So here are some of the comments from Facebook. Sue says, stay classy, San Diego. Nice job.
Oscar says, well, that was a waste of money. And then Jeff writes, can you say corruption? James writes, I knew it was a long shot, but when the state implodes, at least we can say we tried. If you want to chime in, you can head to the CBS 8 Facebook page. We always are interested in what you've got to say about this. Coming up at 6:30, we will have analysis on the results and what happens next ahead of next year's gubernatorial election. So stay tuned for that conversation with our political panel.
A hearing is scheduled this morning in a family court case involving the children of missing mother Maya Miliete. The Chula Vista woman's parents are seeking visitation rights, but her husband, Larry, filed a declaration in the case saying the family has implied he killed Maya. Meantime, in a separate case, a judge extended the gun violence restraining order against Larry. Police seized his guns after pictures showed his 4-year-old son standing on a kitchen table surrounded by the firearms. This is the picture. The next hearing on that is set for December. This morning, the Imperial Beach City Council will discuss vaccine mandates for its workforce. They're going to take up several options, including requiring the shot as a term of employment or only requiring them for new hires and non-union workers. The city could also extend its current vaccination timeline to give workers more time to get the shot and encourage vaccination. All 4 U.S. military branches have set deadlines for COVID-19 vaccinations. The Army, Navy, Marines, and Air Force all have their deadlines in either November or December. National Guard soldiers have a longer time to get their shot. That's until June 30th of 2022. The requirement was first announced by the Pentagon and endorsed by President Biden in August.
Let's check in with Netta now and see how our Wednesday is looking. A lot cooler start to the day, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it is a lot cooler, so you may need to dig out those long sleeve shirts. You may want to put a sweater on your kid before you get them ready for school this morning. This afternoon, you probably won't need it, but overall, we are in that gradual cool down, so that's what we're starting off with. There is that chill in the air, cloud coverage as well, and then high surf. So this is the view of Cardiff State Beach, where there's probably some surfers cruising by right now, checking out the waves before they go in there. Now, 3 and 5 footers, that's what our local buoys are showing. And a little bit to the north, places like Trestles, up to 8 footers again for today. So here locally, our surf forecast 3 to 6. Rip current risk is high, and our water temperature keeps getting cooler and cooler. We were in the upper 60s just a couple days ago. We are dropping on average anywhere from 63 to about 67 degrees. That's what our water temperature feels like. And that also impacts us on land, our air temperature. We are getting that onshore flow, and it pushes in some of that cooler coastal air to all of us. So that's why we're noticing that gradual cool down. That's also why we have the marine layer. As you know, anytime we get onshore flow, typically we would get the morning marine layer clouds. So that's what's upon us here. 1 mile visibility in Ramona, where the marine layer is sitting right above you. That's also where you're noticing a 4-degree drop in temperatures now compared to yesterday at this time. 20-degree drop, though, for Borrego and Ocotillo. I mean, it is cooler in the the deserts, low 70s to start off this day. 52 in Alpine, 47 in Ramona. That's where I would say you'd need a sweater. 60 degrees in Poway, 67 right now for downtown San Diego. And we have a couple things happening. Relative humidity is up where the marine layer is and those clouds are, but places where we are noticing the dryness, that would be our mountains and deserts. That's where our fire danger is expected to go up today because winds are also going to get pretty gusty by this afternoon. We could see relative humidity dropping way down into the single digits. Overall, this is what you can expect for your temperatures. This would be downtown San Diego. Taking a look at the 10-day trend, we're below average all the way until next week. So there you go, staying in the mid to upper 70s. A quick check of traffic here because there's really not much going on at this hour. Very nice and calm for you. So that's a good sign. This is a good time to get outside and drive wherever you need because we do not have much backup. This is typical slowing right there. Coronado looks to be right ahead of NAS North Island as people go through security there at the base, but that's normal to see at this hour. And then taking you through East County, El Cajon, Mount Helix, you name it, all is looking good. No major slowdowns. In Escondido, southbound on the 15, it looks like there's just a few more people hitting the roads through that location heading south into town.